Okay, I have to record this video because I have to remember that this dream exists before I forget forever. So, I'm living in like the world of Gilmore Girls. I don't know, I delayed Gilmore Girls. But whatever, I'm living in the world of Gilmore Girls. But I don't remember how I know that because it's not like I'm in their town and none of the characters are in this dream. But I do think I hear that like la 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 like theme music like at the beginning of the dream, and I'm driving, and at this point I'm alone, and that will become like weird later. So I'm driving alone, and I'm like really stressed because everywhere I go, they're keeping like animals hopping into the street or like flying across the street. And I keep getting like really close calls because they're like moving really fast or whatever. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm looking, and I like look around at like a stoplight or something. I don't remember how I know this actually. Maybe I just like intuitively knew this. But I was like, no one else is stressed about this. Like, I'm the only one who's stressed that there are all these animals in the street. And then I'm like, shit, maybe I'm delusional or something. Because this is absolutely crazy. Like, I'm probably having like hallucinations and delusions. So I get to this place, and there's this animal that runs through the street, and then like into like a small fenced area of this house. And I don't recognize what the animal is at first, but later I'm gonna find out what it is. And it's weird that I didn't recognize it because I do know what this animal looks like. But I go and I knock on the door. Or actually, I think it happens later, but at some point while I'm in this house, suddenly Max is going to be with me. So I knock on the door, and it's Liv from the museum. But like, I don't know her. I don't think I'm myself in this dream because I don't recognize Liv, but I also don't think it's really Liv. She just looks like Liv. And she's like, what's up? And I'm like, well, I just wanted to let you know. And on my way up to the house, I was like in like this enclosure, and there were like so many of these animals. And but the fence was like one wire, and I was like, how is the fence like this? Like, these are animals, she has to know these animals are escaping. But I'm like, I just wanted to let you know that I saw like one of your animals running through the street. And she's all like, oh, come in. And she has like her sister there. I've never met her sister in real life. This is just a character. I don't even know if she has a sister. And I go like inside, and there are more animals inside than there were outside. And there's also like a really big one. So you like realize that the other ones were babies and this is the mother. I'm like, what kind of animal is this? And she was like, oh, they're my pet capybaras. And I was like, oh yeah, I knew that. Because I actually did. I don't know how I forgot what a capybara looks like. But I'm like, so you realize that they're like running through the street? And she's like, oh yeah, like I encourage this. And I was like, what? She was like, well, not like running in the street, but I have these little house. This is the part that made sense to me at the time. But now that I'm thinking it through, like when she explained it to me, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But now that I'm thinking about it as like a real awake person, I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? But she was like, I have these little houses with like these raised floors that they can just jump out of, so it's safe. And I was like, okay, makes sense. Because apparently that's what made sense to me. And I was like, okay, but there wasn't one of those. And she goes and she's like, I'll show you. And I was like, okay. And she just shows me one, and it's like this weird little thing. Looks like a Minecraft base or something, but it's just like 4 walls, and then like a human bed, but really small. Like it's the size of a relatively large cardboard box, but not a really big cardboard box. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to like prove to me that they existed. Like, I believe you, I guess, but there wasn't one in the street. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And I think by this point, I definitely do have Max with me, but he's not really saying anything. But then, I don't remember how this happens, but, oh, yeah. Like a second ago, it started storming really bad, so I think she like flooding outside and like a lot of rain, and we're just like trapped in this house, and she's like, you can just hang out with me and my sister for a while. And for some reason, so like our clothes were wet, and she was like, oh, I can lend you these to like change into. And for some reason it was very like elaborate, like period wear. It was like, I don't know what period it was. I'm not good at like historical fashion. But it was these like big ass dresses. Max was in one too. And I was, at the time I was like, okay, that's normal. And I can't remember if she and her sister were wearing them. Maybe, maybe not. But we're like hanging out, and we have like this really deep conversation that I can't remember anymore. So I wish I had recorded this message earlier, because I've been awake for almost like for a little over 30 minutes now, so it's slipping away. But after a while, she's like, oh, you like have to go, like get out. And I was like, it's still flooded outside, but I was just like that in my head, and I was like, oh, okay. So this is the, okay, I remember she was having like a party based on like a historical era party or whatever, and she just had these costumes lying around, and she was like, oh, you will like have to go now. And I was like, but it was still flooded outside, but I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, that's like fair enough, we've overstayed our welcome. And Matt, when we're walking around and just like grabbing all our stuff, and I'm wearing like Doc Martens, and Max has changed back into his normal clothes, but I like didn't. Like, I think I stole this costume from Liv, so now I'm just driving around in this giant like period era. I keep saying period era, and that's not what like I'm meaning to say, but it's early, you like get what I mean. I'm like walking around in this big ass dress, and I'm driving, and I like check everything in my car, and for some reason my car is black. Like, it looks kind of like my car, but I don't remember if it's this type of car. It's like the same height, but it was black. I don't remember if it was a Corolla still. And I like checked the trunk in the back to make sure everything in it is like dry, and it is. And the flood has like gone away. Like, it's not raining anymore, and it's not flooded outside anymore, and all the capybaras are back, and I'm like, that's really weird. But okay. I like don't think it's that big of a deal. I just saw like a plastic bag in the street, and I thought it was an animal. That was really scary. But we're driving, and Max is like, can I DJ? And I was like, I guess so. Why not? And he plays like this song that definitely exists in real life, but I don't remember what it was anymore. But it struck me as weird that he's playing it, and I don't remember what it was. And oh shit, yeah, I was about to stop the dream, but there's a whole second part. So the place we were going was not like home or anywhere normal. It's like this hotel, and there are a bunch of people there. Oh, actually no, first we're at the museum, and we like meet some people at the museum, and we're like talking or whatever. This is the part where I forget what happened exactly, but we're at the museum. But then like while we're at the museum is actually like a hotel, and it just has like the museum lobby, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go swimming. I don't remember who all was there. I think it might have been like people, like other interns from the museum. So we all go, so we're all gonna go to the pool, and they were like, oh, we have to change into our swimsuits. And no one like comments on the fact that I'm wearing like this big ass, I think maybe it was like Victorian era dress, which is driving slow. No one's like, oh, well, like what happened? And also you're like really late, like what's going on? Everyone's just like, okay, let's go. If they were like, are you guys wearing swimsuits? Me and this one other person that I can't even see the face of right now. And we're like, oh no. So they're like, oh, go up to the bathrooms. And they have these like really big bathrooms. Oh, I know where I've seen these bathrooms before. I was thinking about the bathrooms, and I was like, I'd definitely been in this hotel before, but I couldn't recognize it. It was the Art Ovation bathrooms. Like, it had the same bathrooms as Art Ovation. Kind of the same pool too, but it wasn't like a rooftop pool. Like, it was floor level, but it like looked like their pool and had like the stuff around it or whatever. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, well, I don't have a swimsuit. And then I look over and my swimsuit, and also like it's my black bikini, so it has like the bikini top and the bikini bottoms, and then also like basketball shorts, and they're mine. And I was like, oh my god, I left these here the last time I was here, and they're like still here. But I've never changed into my swimsuit at Art Ovation in my real life memory, so this was just part of the dream. And so I like put on the swimsuit, and then I'm like going to the pool, and this is the part where I woke up. But anyway, yeah, that was my dream.